Welcome back to the Teacher's AI Cafe. I'm Kane, a teacher and a parent who wants AI to give us back our time. I share practical classroom-tested AI strategies to cut down your workload, improve your feedback, and reduce stress so you can get your evenings back and be more present with your friends and family. No jargon, just actionable steps. Grab your mug. Now let's get going. Welcome back to today's tech updates, the 13th of April, second week of my school holidays here in WA, which is really nice. And it's nice sunny weather as well, which is even better. And not quite warm enough to go for a swim though. So what's been happening in the last week? I guess one of the biggest changes is Google's announced a big update to their Gemini platform for AI. And why that doesn't Gemini necessarily link directly into education as such in the classroom. One of the bigger changes, it obviously is model updates through all their different platforms as well. But one of the things they've done is actually put notebooks in Gemini itself. So when you open up your Gemini, you can actually access your NotebookLM files. And I think that's important because I guess they own both. I guess at some point they're going to try and merge the two together. It's instead of having these two different models, but who knows, it's Google coming through that. Why I know I can access the recordings, a little bit of playing I did put in there. I couldn't use a lot of the NotebookLM features in Gemini at this point, but like I said, I haven't had a really big play with it at this point. But I guess the idea is you can start things in a notebook and you can continue and develop them in Gemini AI as you adapt it for your particular classroom. So what else did Google say? So the idea is you gather your node sources and early ideas in Gemini, then you can move into NotebookLM for a deeper synthesis, richer outputs, obviously all the graphical features in there, the audio and the video. Okay, so it's only rolling out to paid web users at this point. Maybe that's why I can see it because I've got a paid account. It's not currently available for education accounts. I imagine that will come in the near future. I guess by being paid accounts only, they want you to actually get the stump up for some money for that. The second story is from Anthropic. The report that suggests is they've developed a new, very powerful model, but chosen not to release it publicly over safety concerns. It says it's too powerful, which is really interesting what they're doing benchmarks. I did read one of the things that it would be the ultimate hacking tool. You could use this AI to get into anything. It reminds me of the end, if you ever watched the TV series Silicon Valley, they developed basically a system that could hack anything because it was self-learning and did very quickly. Watch the series. It's quite interesting. It's a bit like Silicon Valley, but at the same time, it's a very frustrating series because they screw up so often going through the series. But that's well worth the watch if you got interested in that. So I guess what it does for educators and around the discussion education is it's AI progress is no longer necessarily what's getting built, but actually is what's getting released into the public. So I'm not what they're going to do. Whether they do a truncated version of this model and send it out, I guess we'll find out in the near future. The other thing, apparently Anthropic had a major Claude outage this week. I guess for teachers, if you're trying to use one platform, that can be a bit of an annoyance. With your platform goes down, you can't actually use it. On a broader trend, we haven't got a lot happening in the last week. Like I said, AI is moving from answering questions to completing tasks. Like I said, we see this ongoing progression of us actually doing tasks for us through agents and so forth. So that's pretty much what's happened this week. Nothing too exciting. I guess next week, hopefully something else exciting or interesting news. But like I said, we've gone from this stage of all these updates, this progression to more of what often happens in IT is more of this incremental change. You think about the equivalent example is say early smartphones of the iPhone. Every version had massive differences in there. And Samsung would come in and do it. But now what we often see is incremental changes that aren't enough to get people lining up at midnight to get the first one in the morning, but they obviously continually improving our experiences. So till then, keep up the good work. On Wednesday, I've got a fantastic interview with David out of Boston, Massachusetts in the US. So that was a really good conversation we had, and I'll share that up. If you are interested, drop me an email or line and come on and have a chat. As you see from the different interviews, they're all very different. And it's basically, I give you a chance to talk about what you want to talk about AI, and I'll put questions in there and clarify, maybe challenge some things or agree with you. And so I do want to do it. It's a very friendly space. I don't like the word safe space, but it's friendly. But like I said, discussing things relating to education is the most important way to actually improve our education systems in whatever form or manner it is where you are in the world. So hopefully I hear from different educators and we can have a chat and engage of your thoughts of where you think it should go and what's actually been happening, particularly around the area of AI in education. Till then, keep up the good work.